literally saying you have students who's reached out to over 10 elected officials, and when they don't respond, then we as elected officials are upset with the community. We run for elections, and people don't come out and vote for us because of how we acted when we were in the position. We lost the hope and support from the people because our access, we're limited access. So, you know, like, what are some things that happens when students reach out to elected officials and they don't respond, and they could be a new voter?
Yeah.
Like, what's some feedback? How do they respond to that, man?
One of the questions when they say that they've reached out to multiple elected officials on this project that I have for them, interview that I have for them to do, I asked them, well, how do you feel that you reached out to this many elected officials that your vote put in office and they didn't respond back to you? And it opens their eyes to see that I have to do more, I have to be more involved. And that's what I want, you know, is you know, for me, it's not talking downing the elected official, but I want this person to know that's a young voter or a voter person that has not voted before, that you have to get involved, man. There's so many issues that they have, and they wonder why things aren't the way they are.
Yeah. Because,
man, this world, this society, this nation, this government is built on elected officials and the bureaucracies and the policies and things that come out of legislation. And so we have to understand that when we want something done, we have to go to the people that's in and that we put in office. Yeah. And have to hold them accountable, man. Every day, myself included, man.
Yeah. What do you feel are some of your biggest accomplishments?
Man, so earlier I talked about being the president of the association for the state, JPCA. But in 2017, I was actually named Constable of the year for the state of Texas, man. And so to me, that was a great accomplishment for our state. And more recently, last year, I was named United States Constable of the Year for this entire nation by the organization called the National Constables and Marshals Association.
Yeah. And
so, man, it was just a blessing to receive that award. I got nominated by one of my colleagues. And so to be named the #1 constable of these United States was just a pure blessing. And be able to bring that award back here to the 409 was just also just something that was just a great feeling. And because of that, I was honored by the Port Arthur Mayor, Thurman Bartee. He gave me the key to the city and named the day after me. That's coming up September 28th. It's Chris Bates Day.
Chris Bates Day. Yeah.
So and the room, the chambers for the council was packed, man. And they had a little reception for me. And so it was just an honor. Just, again, I told people in my comments that the only reason I'm able to get to those accomplishments, those heights, is because of the support here locally, man. Yeah. I mean, I got support all over, statewide, nationwide now, but locally, man, it's just the love is so important, and that's what really keeps me driving, keeps me going. And so, you know, those aspects of this job has really just allowed me to continue moving forward, man. Again, I mean, I received so many awards, but it's just a blessing that people recognize you. And it's not to showboat, it's not to do none of that, but it's just to motivate you to keep moving forward. 40 under 40. You and I have both received that recognition, you know.
Martin Luther King Man of the Year?
Martin Luther King Man of the Year, you know. It's a lot of different things. And so now in my scholarship, I honor people every year that's doing great work as well, because I just know that it's important to recognize people when they're doing good things.
Yeah.
So
Chris, I'm a data-driven person. You know, statistics show in our area, specifically the 409, really Beaumont and Port Arthur, sometimes we have a negative connotation. You know, it's sometimes portrayed that, you know, it's a lot of bad crime in this area. Sometimes we don't talk about all the good people that come from this area. But for you to be recognized, let's talk about Texas first. So constables in the state of Texas, about how many constables it is in the state of Texas?
Right now, we probably have about 700 constables.
So out of about 700, you were way in 2017.
Yeah.
Constable of the Year in the state of Texas.
Right.
So I want to put in the content that, you know, out of around 700 constables, right here in Port Arthur, Texas, the 409, the land of the trail. Chris Bates was recognized in the state of Texas. And then it stopped there. Recently, you were recognized the United States. So let's talk about data. How many constables you think it is in the United States?
Now, we roughly, man, probably between 2,500 to 3,000 constables in our state, from different states and here in our nation. And so it's again, I was speechless, to receive it. But like you said, putting it in context, it just equally makes it even greater, Again, and then being right here from this area to bring it back home, it's just truly amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I said, Chris, like you are what I call the model elected official. Beautiful family. You don't just serve in your position, but you physically do things to uplift your community, the people around you.
Right.
And I live on a motto, in everybody I encounter, I want them to be better once I walked away from them, once I left them. And you are a living testament to what they insist of. So again, I want to give you your flowers while you're here. We appreciate you. We proud of you. Keep going.
Oh yeah.
I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for our relationship, bro. Like, it's hard to find real friends where we can actually talk to each other and vent to each other about some of these things that we go through in life and these leadership roles, bro. So, man, much respect, Chris.
Man.
In the United States, bro.
Give it all to God, man. That's it. He get the glory. He get the glory, man.
But much respect, bro. We're going to keep it rolling. So the podcast is Don't Give Up on the System. We have these systems in place that you see people all the time. They get tired of politics. They don't believe and trust in politics. They don't believe in some of these politicians. With this podcast, I want to show some people that's really putting in work.
Yeah.
I want people to learn about who they are and what they got going on. So my last question is, what do you say to people who are giving up on the system?
People have lost hope. They experience so many different election platforms, people coming to them, selling them what they're gonna do, and they don't make good on their promises, or they can't be found once they win the seat. And that is why people have been in a situation where they don't trust the system, they don't trust the process. And I get it. I can't lie. I understand where they're coming from. So that's why it's so important to vet the right person, put the right people in office, and people that's going to be true to what they said that they're going to do.
Yeah.
I teach adjunct government at LIT here in Beaumont. And I have an assignment that I do where the students reach out to an elected official. They have reached out to you before because I've graded the papers where you have given them an interview, but sometimes it's so hard for them to reach out and get a response back from an elected official. When this person, me, and other elected officials are only here because of the individuals that came and voted for us. So why would it be hard for me to be in contact when the only reason I have this position is because of that vote? And sometimes it frustrates me when I have students email me like, I reached out to 10 elected officials and no one responded back.
Wow.
And that means that person has lost hope. I ain't calling no names, but that person or persons have lost hope in their position or lost the understanding that we are here not for ourselves, but we're here for the people. And so it's important that we continue to educate. It's important that we bring the trust back to individuals so that they can be involved in the process. We have a huge voting aspect coming up for us in locally, state, nationwide, and we want people to be able to trust the process as far as, and so having this interview, having this podcast, having elected officials coming in, I believe will bring back that trust, bring back that hope to our communities, and get them to want to be involved in the voting process and understanding what the elected officials do.